Hey guys, I know that's a strange title, but someone had asked me earlier what did I think about the UFO stuff and the aliens and all that, the files that come out. I haven't read any of the files. I've heard about files being released, but that's all I know. I know that I think it was last year, maybe the year before, someone had told me that the aliens being referenced are the or illegal aliens. They're actually people. They're not actual aliens. And I didn't know what to think about that. But there is some credence to that. And I wanted to investigate that in this video. It could be totally wrong, but I think it could be right because one of the emergence videos we were doing when it was talking about masking. Yeah, that was it. And I was like, is this talking about U.S. Border Patrol? And it said that it did exist in the 1950s. And I know that Roswell happened somewhere in the 40s, 30s. So I was thinking, well, maybe it could be illegal aliens if aliens, because I don't know anything before Roswell. That's the only thing I know about aliens and UFOs that went mainstream. I don't know anything that happened after that. I mean, before that. So I want to look at that and compare it to the creation of U.S. Border Patrol. I don't know what to expect here. I mean, it could be possible, but we're going to use ChatGPT and see what we can find, because that's what we do on this channel. So let's see. When was would you say founded? When was U.S. Border Patrol founded? I would think that's. I don't know if it would be called that. I don't know. Let's see. When was U.S. Border Patrol founded? So the U.S. Border Patrol was founded May 28th. So almost a year. I mean, I'm sorry. It's 12 in the morning, May 25th. So it's almost the anniversary of the foundation of U.S. Border Patrol. It's in 3 days. It was created under the Labor Appropriation Act. Labor Appropriation Act, Border Patrol. Interesting. Labor Appropriation Act. I never heard of it, but labor makes me think of people working and all of that other stuff. So that's interesting. Of 1924 to combat illegal crossings and smuggling, mainly along the borders with Mexico and Canada. I wonder what actually was going on during that time. We're not going to find that out. You guys can figure that out. At the time, it started with only a few hundred officers, many of whom patrolled on horseback, by foot, or in early automobiles. So, it says, when was the first UFO sighting? There's no single universally accepted first UFO sighting because strange objects have been reported for thousands of years, but the first modern UFO sighting, commonly recognized in public culture, happened on June 24th, 1947. I'm going to have to write that down for a second. Something came to me when I read that. June 24, 1947. Pilot Kenneth Arnold reported seeing 9 fast-moving crescent-shaped objects near Mount Rainier, that's in Washington State. He described the movement as like a saucer skipping across water, which led newspapers to popularize the term flying saucers. So this is after Border Patrol. Interesting. So there was no, and this is the United States. So it's a United States thing. Unless this is more Western Section 230 stuff. The event is generally considered the beginning of the modern UFO era in the United States. The older reports people sometimes retroactively call UFO sightings, including strange aerial phenomena recorded in ancient Rome, the 1561 celestial phenomenon over Nuremberg, and the 1869 to 1897 mystery airship wave in the United States. But Arnold's 1947 sighting is the one most historians point as the first major modern UFO case. Alright guys, I just gotta ask one question. So, it is possible that it is tied to Border Patrol. It happened afterwards. How many years ago? About 24 years later? 23 years later, I believe. What's 47 minus 24? 23. What did I say? 20. Yeah, it's getting late for me. I know it was. I know it's not 1947. Wait. Was it 46 or 47? Dude, I should know this off the top of my head. I believe it was June something of 1946. Anyways, we're gonna figure it out. In a single day, when was the CIA created? September 18th, 1947. September 18th. Interesting. I did not know that. I did not know it was September 18th. Hang on. That's 3 days before. That's 3 days before the SBU, which was September 20th of 1992. This is 1947. Interesting. It's not gonna. It said in one day, when did the National Security Act get passed? July 20. Okay, that's what I was thinking of. The National Security Act of 1947 was signed into law on July 26, 1947. So this is June 24th. So it was about a month before the National Security Act was signed. So to say was not involved in this. The plot thickens. There is something I do want to know. In ancient... It's interesting that the CIA was created September 18th of that year. And that Security Act of July. I don't know the details of that. Someone else can do that. In ancient Hebrew calendar, when was what? In ancient Hebrew calendar, what was the second to last month? In one word. Shabbat. Shabbat is, what month is that in the Gregorian? I know it changes around. Usually January, February in the Gregorian calendar. So it would be, okay. So I know that the last month in the ancient Hebrew calendar is February. March is the first month. So Shabbat would be January. Yeah, well, it would be in the January time. Alright. January. But that wouldn't be the start of the year of, that wouldn't be, for the Gregorian it would be the start of the month, for the start of the year. But in the Hebrew calendar it would be the second to the last month. That would be like our December. Relatively speaking. So yeah. I'm not seeing anything tied to that date except the three-day offset with the Hebrew calendar would be its epoch is September 20th, and that's the same day the SBU was said in a single date. When was the KGB of Ukraine known as the SBU? Established seven. Oh, it's 1991, not 1992. It's 1991. Sorry, I said 1992 before. Yeah, this is correct. As far as information goes, the Security Service of Ukraine, SBU, successor to the Ukrainian KGB, was established on September 20th, 1991, which is 3 days after the CIA was created. Just how many years ago was that? 1947 minus 1991. 44 years. That's interesting. 44. That's the same amount of time between 1989 and 2033. 44 years. Interesting. Very interesting. Now, people would say, well, isn't it 2 years? 18 minus 20 is 2. Well, if you have a 1 day offset, either direction, it'd be 3. So, anyways, yeah, I just want to look into that, see whether I mean, you could say that was a legitimate thing, but you could say from a government perspective, is say, well, they're aliens and all that. Border Patrol, I think it's possible. From a government perspective. Now, if you're an average person and you're looking at this guy and say, oh, that's a UFO, well, the government is going to say, well, we had a unusually amount of UFO sightings or you could say, we had a reduction of UFO sightings in 2026. I mean, if you know, you know. They say, well, we had a lot of communication. You could word it like that from a government perspective, where you're talking about one thing. You think that you're talking about one. People think you're talking about one thing, but you're actually talking about something else. And most people don't know. I mean, that's how the government works for you. Well, at that type of a level, it does. So, guys, I thought that was pretty interesting. And, if you want to go down rabbit holes, you can. But I will see you guys in the next one.